Oh, if Biden had just been transparent, if Hunter Biden had just been transparent
let me give
about
you
what
a
he was
perfect
doing,
example.
Answer the question.
You literally brought Don Jr. and the guns earlier.
No, let me
I'm
ask
going to
you.
answer.
No,
I'm answering the
let me
question.
ask you.
Yes.
If Hunter Biden had just been transparent, if he had just said, you know what I'm
Burisma was
doing?
not transparent.
I'm using my dad's name to make money. You would have said, totally above board. We're fine with
If he
it.
was
Yes?
doing actual businesses, Burisma was massive corruption. He didn't know anything about the industry. Don Jr. and guns, a great example. I hung out with Don Jr. at the SHOT Show 20 years ago in Vegas.
What do the Trump sons
He's been involved in guns for 20 plus years.
What do the Trump sons know about mining rare earth minerals?
In today's video, Abby Phillip corners Ben Ferguson on Newsnight with Abby Phillip. Donald Trump says he's putting America first, but should a sitting president be making billions while in office? That's the question at the heart of this heated debate. Abby Phillip challenges the ethics behind Trump's massive financial gains, while Ben Ferguson argues it's simply the success of a businessman. So let's dive in and watch how Abby Phillip shuts down Ben Ferguson on Newsnight with Abby Phillip.
President Trump's eldest son is a key player in Grab a Gun, a company that hopes to dominate internet firearm sales. They'll dominate it because the president looks like he is about to ease regulations on that. Don Jr. has a stake in the company. He is on the board. So, yeah, I mean, the Trump piece of it is actually just kind of a drop in the bucket compared to what his sons are probably doing.
No, I think back to 2020, and Donald Trump coined, and many Republicans coined, Biden, the Biden crime family, because of Hunter Biden. What we're seeing right now is grifting on steroids. And I want my Republican friends to just think about Barack Obama shoes, Barack Obama fragrances, Barack Obama Bibles, Barack Obama watches. Imagine Barack Obama making a meme coin, Michelle Obama having a meme coin, and then rug pulling it and making billions of dollars off of their investors. I find it hypocritical. I find it, if we go back in history, we made Jimmy Carter put his peanut farm in a blind trust. And now you have this president. And I don't really feel bad for anybody. I kind of giggle a little bit because he's making money blindly off the back of his supporters who apparently don't care, which is fascinating to me.
But also not care, but I also think that this is a tale as old as time. I mean, this starts out, remember when Grant was accused of his whiskey sales, and we had LBJ, we had Clinton, we had Biden, obviously. But the thing is what I think's different, and I've said this from the beginning, is the sons especially are doing this wide open.
Yes.
So the criticism of Biden's son as Hunter, was that he did it in secret.
And I give you all credit because look, they're not breaking the glass.
Transparency is not a justification.
They are stealing out the front door.
It doesn't mean
just
because
because
are we accusing the president of doing anything illegal?
No,
we're not. He's really good at making money and has been for a long time.
Lucky. Hypothetically, if you rob a bank and you don't have a mask on, it doesn't make robbing a bank.
Is he broken a law? That's the part. Like he's not broken a law.
I'm saying.
He's been
my point
successful
is,
before he became president.
Something that is unethical out in the open.
What is
does
unethical?
Not necessarily mean that it's right.
And I listen
right,
to what you said, but like, I think it's awesome when people in America succeed. I love the fact that we have a president that was really wealthy when he came in. And he keeps doing business with his family.
So
there's nothing wrong with it.
So hold on, you would have been fine with the so-called Biden crime family. Oh, if Biden had just been transparent, if Hunter Biden had just been transparent about what he was doing, answer the question.
You literally brought Don Jr. and the guns earlier.
No, let me ask you.
I'm answering the question.
Let me ask you. If Hunter Biden had just been transparent, if he had just said, you know what I'm doing? I'm using my dad's name to make money. You would have said, totally above board. We're fine with
If he was doing actual businesses, Burisma was massive corruption. He didn't know anything about the industry. Don Jr. and guns, a great example. I hung out with Don Jr. at the SHOT Show 20 years ago in Vegas. He's been involved in guns for 20 plus years.
What do the Trump sons know about mining rare earth minerals?
Transparency is important, but transparency alone doesn't answer the ethical question. If a public official openly benefits from policies that could increase the value of businesses connected to their family, people are still going to ask whether those decisions were made for the country or for private financial interests. That's exactly why past presidents from both parties have used blind trusts, divested assets, or voluntarily limited their business involvement while serving in office. There's also a consistency problem in our politics. For years, Republicans argued that even the appearance of family members using political connections for business deserved intense scrutiny. Democrats made similar arguments during previous Republican administrations. If that standard was worth defending before, it shouldn't suddenly disappear because it's politically inconvenient now. Ethical standards only work if they're applied equally. Another point that's easy to overlook is that regulatory changes can dramatically affect the value of private companies. Whether it's cryptocurrency, firearms, energy, or technology, markets often respond immediately when Washington changes the rules. That's why government ethics laws exist in the first place, to reduce the possibility that policymakers could personally benefit from decisions they're responsible for making. And from the perspective of ordinary Americans, this debate isn't really about billionaire success. It's about fairness. Millions of families are still dealing with expensive groceries, housing costs, insurance premiums, and credit card debt. When they see headlines about businesses connected to the president and his family generating enormous wealth during the same period, it's understandable that they ask whether the people in power are focused on improving everyday life or expanding their own financial empire. Regardless of party, the presidency should be held to the highest ethical standard. Americans shouldn't have to wonder whether government decisions are creating public benefits or private fortunes. That's a standard worth protecting no matter who's in the White House.
What do the Trump sons know about robotics? What do they know about drones?
A lot, clearly. They made a lot of money off of it because they actually invest in it. Let me ask you this. Have you ever looked in your retirement account and what do you know about cryptocurrency? What do you know about rare earth minerals? I'm invested in all those things.
Respectfully,
I'm invested in all those things. And by the way, made good money while Trump was in office.
Let me give you. You asked what
a lot of Americans.
You asked what did he do? You asked what did he do that was unethical or illegal?
Nothing.
And I wanted to answer that just plain and simply because I don't know. I take hot yoga. I feel like you're doing a little yoga too for that pretzel that you got yourself in.
Dude, I love that people make money and they do it because they invest.
But listen,
and they
I just
have
want
a lot of money. That's awesome.
In quarter one of 2026, Donald Trump has executed 3,500 trades. You want to know what's unethical about that?
Almost as many as Nancy Pelosi.
I'm glad you brought her up because it's not. It's nowhere near.
Nancy Pelosi,
but can I finish real quick?
What she's made is way more,
real quick? Because you asked.
A year.
Can I ask? Can I answer your question?
No, it's not. But
and it's not.
Nancy Pelosi has.
But
Ben, follow her trades because she's so good at it.
Ben,
come here.
She's literally better than Wall Street at it.
Just a second. Objectively, the amount of money is not the same. Okay,
percentage-wise, based on her salary.
We don't need to fight about that. It's just not the same amount of money.
Nancy Pelosi was making how much a year, and how many millions is she now worth?
Okay, but
that's insider trading. Donald Trump walks in with $1 billion and it turns into $2, and you guys are freaking out. $1 billion is a lot to start with. Like a lot.
Ben, to utilize
like a lot of money.
Ben, to utilize your phrase, the president makes $400,000 a year,
and he gives it back.
This quarter, he's made over $1 billion, 1.2, 1.4 billion on crypto alone.
That's amazing.
What I want to tell you that's unethical is the fact that when you make 3,500 trades in 1 year, and you go up and you invest in a company, and then you sit in the Oval Office and you tell people, wow, this company is great. This company is going to do X, Y, Z. Or you ease regulations on this company and you trade and purchase stock in that company. That fundamentally is unethical. You can call it what you want.
So should we then go after Nancy Pelosi with the same vigor that you just went after the president? Because she does it for years.
The Wall Street Journal has a news story tonight as well. Look, because this stuff is coming fast and furious. And as you know, Jonathan Swan, who wrote a book about this, said we're scratching the surface of this. The Journal says, in a series of trades on April 3rd and 4th, the days after Trump announced global tariffs in the Rose Garden, his investment accounts bought and sold hundreds of individual stocks, according to financial disclosures. The strategy shifted on April 8th, when his accounts only purchased 327 individual stocks, spending more than $3.6 million to scoop up Apple, Berkshire Hathaway, and other blue chip stocks. No selling that day. Trump posted on social media the next morning, it was a great day to buy. And then he paused much of his tariff regimen that afternoon. Markets then took off. And guess what? He made a lot of money, okay? So just lots of coincidences.
And the real issue is whether someone who has the power to shape markets through government policy should also be actively trading and benefiting from those same market movements. That's why ethics rules exist for public officials in the first place. Markets move on presidential announcements every single day, whether it's tariffs, regulations, energy policy, or interest rate comments. Investors know that a statement from the White House can wipe out or create billions of dollars in market value within hours. That's exactly why ethics experts have warned for decades that presidents should avoid situations where their financial interests overlap with decisions that can move markets. This also shouldn't become a partisan game of what about the other side. If members of Congress, whether it's Republicans or Democrats, are suspected of benefiting from information or policies tied to their official positions, that deserves scrutiny too. In fact, there's been bipartisan support over the years for banning members of Congress from trading individual stocks because the appearance of conflicts of interest has become such a widespread concern. The same principle should apply even more strongly to the president. Another point is that legality and ethics aren't always the same thing. Plenty of actions can fall within the letter of the law while still raising serious ethical concerns. Public officials are expected to meet a higher standard because Americans need confidence that decisions are being made in the country's interest, not because they might increase someone's personal portfolio. And from the perspective of everyday Americans, it's easy to understand why this strikes a nerve. Families are still dealing with expensive groceries, high mortgage rates, rising insurance costs, and record household debt. Meanwhile, headlines focus on billions of dollars flowing into businesses connected to the president and his family.
Political bubble.
Lots of coincidences that nobody believes is a coincidence because the president has the power to control with his words what markets are doing. He has the power to influence government contracts, which some of these companies have gotten. He has the power to influence foreign affairs, which also affects some of the business deals that his kids are doing. That's what's part of the problem here.
Yeah, and I just don't think it helps Republicans as a whole as they're going into the midterms, because at the same time that he's doing this with the crypto, and he called it a scam a couple years ago, I guess now he understands it and he's like good on crypto, but he hasn't signed the housing bill. Like, there are real conversations about affordability that are happening. And I think there are a lot of Republicans who would like some help in their districts and their states in pushing forward that message. And it's very hard to sell affordability when the president is reported to call the housing bill a huge yawn. And at the same time, he's raking in this money. Does he want to help the party as a whole?
This is the part that really is
family?
amazing. I remember sitting on a show and you guys were saying that Donald Trump was a fraud and he really probably wasn't worth $1 billion. He was lying about his wealth. Yes, exactly. And now you guys are pissed off that he's worth billions of dollars, admitting that he made a lot of money. It's like the definition of hypocrisy.
No,
it's like Donald Trump's not really rich.
No.
Damn it, now he's too rich. Like, which one is it?
Hold on, Ben. Hold on a second, Ben. I don't think
it is.
Funny. Do you know what hypocrisy really means?
When you say that Donald Trump's not rich and you say he's lying when he's running, and then he actually is rich and then he makes more money, and now you're mad about it?
Ben,
like, that's hypocrisy.
Here's what we're really talking about here. We're talking about Trump in 2024 bringing in $600 million from his businesses. And the very next year, the only thing that's changed is he suddenly is president. And that jumps to $2.2 billion. That's not being a good businessman. That's not playing the market. Those are games that no one is getting.
But a lot of people that went into crypto, a lot of people that are liberal, you can go to Soros's. They've made a lot of money off crypto.
I just want to be really clear about what we're talking about when we say crypto. You heard in the clip, President Trump claimed that he didn't know anything about it. That we know is not true, because the reason he made much of the money on crypto is because just a few days before the election, the inauguration, he started advertising these crypto meme tokens.
Yes.
That is where he is getting the crypto money from. He personally did that.
I think the question is why his earnings accelerated so dramatically once he regained the presidency, when the biggest change in someone's business environment is that they now hold the most powerful office in the world. It's reasonable to ask whether that position is contributing to those financial gains. That's exactly why presidential ethics have traditionally been so strict. Previous presidents from both parties took steps to separate themselves from their private business interests because they understood that even the appearance of a conflict of interest could damage public trust. Ethics rules aren't just about preventing corruption. They're about making sure Americans never have to wonder whether official decisions are influenced by personal financial incentives. There's also the issue of market influence. Presidents don't need to sign a law to affect markets. A single announcement on tariffs, crypto regulation, defense contracts, or international negotiations can move billions of dollars in market value within minutes. Financial analysts routinely track presidential statements because investors react almost instantly. That's an extraordinary amount of influence that no ordinary investor possesses. Politically, this creates another challenge. Voters consistently rank inflation, housing affordability, healthcare, and grocery prices among their biggest concerns. If those issues remain unresolved while headlines focus on billions flowing into businesses connected to the president and his family, people naturally begin asking whether Washington's priorities are aligned with their own. And on cryptocurrency specifically, it's worth remembering that meme coins are among the riskiest assets in the financial world. Consumer advocates and financial regulators have repeatedly warned that many retail investors lose money chasing the hype, while founders and early insiders often capture the overwhelming share of the profits. That's why critics argue that public officials should be especially careful about promoting financial products that can directly benefit businesses connected to them.